webinar, Shedding Light on Aging Eyes, Practical Tips for Enhancing Senior Vision and Comfort. I'm Pratima Pinumarthi, and I'm very grateful to be here today as the founder and CEO of Volunteering for Seniors, where our mission is to keep seniors active, engaged, and connected to their communities. It's truly inspiring to bring valuable resources and knowledge to our senior community, and today is no exception. As we age, our vision changes, making everyday tasks like reading, cooking, or moving around safely more challenging. But the good news is that with the right lighting and design choices, what one takes, we can improve comfort safely and overall quality of life. So to help us understand this, how to make the best lighting and home adjustments, we have a very special guest with us today, Margie McNally. Margie is an expert in environmental interior design and a specialist in aging in place. With over 30 years of experience, she has helped countless individuals create safer, healthier, and more accessible living spaces. She is certified in interior design, sustainable building practices, and advanced lighting solutions, all of which play a very crucial role in senior well-being. Margie, thank you for being here today. And before we dive into specific solutions, could you please start telling us a bit more about how aging impacts vision and why lighting plays a critical role in senior community and safety?
Absolutely. Glad to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to present this valuable information. We'll try to keep it as informal as possible today, so that we have time for questions and answers. And as Pratima explained, I'm a licensed interior designer and certified aging in place specialist. I've always had a fascination around lighting since I got into that field in 2007. Learned so much about, actually before that. But basically, there are issues with the aging eye, and I'm going to, if you can see my screen, just wanted to talk a little bit about issues with the aging eye. As we age, our vision decreases, and lighting is an area of particular importance for older adults. Over the last decade, rapidly evolving technologies have impacted the human experience of interior environments. Research has found that older adults frequently perceive lighting in their environments as good enough. However, studies have shown that in reality, most spaces designed specifically for older adults are severely underlit. Research generated 3 categories of lighting effects and approaches to design for senior environments: emotional balance, performance, and fall prevention. The last one being probably the most important for our topic today. So let's look at some physical aspects of the aging eye without going into too much technical detail. Some of the things that we notice, the pupils become more yellow and thicker, and this decreases elasticity, which affects accommodation and adaptation. So I won't get too technical beyond this one slide, but accommodation is the process of focusing the eye at different distances. And accommodation is the process of adaptation is the ability to adjust vision in bright and dark areas. So if you think about going into a movie theater or actually coming out of a movie theater after you've been sitting in the dark for 2 hours, coming out into the light, your eyes have to adapt. So that's what adaptation is. And then we talk about floaters. They're small, dark shapes, and they float across your lens, your vision, and they can look like spots, threads, squiggly lines, or even like little cobwebs. So this is just a brief diagram of the aging eye and how it actually yellows over time. So it changes our transmission of light, it reduces our vision, and it actually affects our color rendering or our color vision. And then some of the consequences of change, of these changes, reducing visual acuity, reducing contrast sensitivity, color discrimination. We can't tell different colors from each other. Increased time for accommodation, which is the distance, and increased time for adaptation, which is the effect of light to dark and dark to light. Sensitivity to glare and disrupted circadian rhythms, which is our bodily function to, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but it's basically our biological rhythm for waking up in daylight with the sun rising and then setting at night to relax us. So it's that circadian rhythm, which is a natural phenomenon of our body that accepts light and helps us to wake and sleep cycles, basically. So light levels, how much do we need? That's an important question. And it's sometimes difficult to answer if you're designing a space. Circadian rhythm, as I mentioned, the 24-hour sleep-wake cycle. And we now know that the effect that lighting has on our sleep and wake patterns, bright, cool blue light for energizing us, and warmer amber-colored lighting to wind down and help us produce melatonin, a sleep hormone. So if you're on your computer late at night, you may find that you're sleepless when you get into bed because your eyes have been looking at that blue light, which wakes us up. So you really need to kind of turn all of those devices off long before you decide to go to bed. And then you think of it, this is the similar pattern with the sunset and sunrise. So this is just, this is a little technical slide with regards to their lighting is measured in foot candles. Illuminance is in foot candles. So as you can see, over the age of 65, our lighting requirements are 3 times that of someone that's 25. So how do we design for the aging eye? What we want to do is consider layers of light as opposed to one central light that does all the work, because that can strain our eyes if we just have one central fixture in the room. So we need like task lighting for reading and cutting vegetables on the counter. We need that ambient lighting as general illumination in a space to get around. Accent lighting is strictly that, just to like highlight artwork and accessories. And then the decorative lighting, which is our chandeliers and pretty fixtures that we like to put in our spaces. Lighting with layers, again, under cabinet lighting, that's important for the kitchen area. Recessed lighting, decorative lighting, and indirect lighting. Indirect lighting, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, can be very helpful in lighting a space without the visible light of the fixture. And then color temperature. Color temperature of light. So this is what I'm talking about as far as the amber colors in the morning, sunrise, and then it gets bluer during the day. This is the natural phenomenon of light, daylight. And then in the afternoon, it gets warmer again as the sun sets. So our bodies crave this. They want this pattern of lighting in order to wake and sleep properly. And then color rendering index, that is like how lighting portrays colors. So sometimes you see the newer LED lighting is very blue and gray, and it makes our environments look kind of flat and not attractive and not pleasant to be in. So it's really important to check the color rendering index. That is a classification on light lamps or light bulbs. And you want to make sure that it's 90, 85, 90 or higher. And some of them are right at 98 now, some of the newer technology. And again, that's something that if you were going down to Home Depot or Lowe's and you were picking up LED lamps, you could look right on the box and see that CRI number. Glare. We want to avoid badly designed lighting, like track lighting that might impact somebody coming downstairs. You want it to be shadowless light and non-glare sources. And then this is glare from sunlight. So this this commercial space did not take into consideration the west facing sun in this coffee shop. And so it's a glare bomb. Like if you're sitting in there in the afternoon, you'll be barely able to see because of the sun. So that's another thing we have to be careful about is glare from daylight and sun it's a wonderful thing to have natural daylight in our environment, but you must have it controlled by shades or some kind of device to block it out. And then just a little bit about products that are available for making our environments better lit and safer and pleasant. Again, under cabinet lighting, this is really key when you're designing for a senior environment. You need good lighting on the counter because you're working with knives, and the overhead lighting is not going to give you that task lighting that you need specifically. You're going to be in your own shadow if you're just using the light from the ceiling. It's really easy to kind of figure this out, to find the correct size. And I do recommend doing it a hardwired with a switch option, but there are some products that are available that do not require an electrician if you're on a tight budget, as we are talking about right now. This is lainnovative.com. This lighting here, if you can see it in my hand, you can see my block image. This is a very slim profile LED fixture that's completely USB chargeable. So, and it's on a motion. So if you turn it on and then you push it again, that blinking turns it into a motion activated light fixture. So these are great for closets and even under cabinet lights in the kitchen. So if you come up under it, your hand would like go across the motion sensor and it would go on automatically, or you can just turn them on and off as needed. But these are really thin profile, and this one happens to be color tunable. So you can have the cooler light if you want it, or you can turn it to that more amber type lighting. I won't demonstrate that right now unless we do that later. So lainnovative.com, they're really budget friendly, and there's a lot of human health issues that come up with colored lighting and circadian rhythm. So these answer that question as well. And then we have the LED recessed down lighting with that are now LED. There's no bulb in these LED fixtures. They're diodes and they glow, and it's a lens. So you're never really looking at a bulb or any kind of a glare source. Track lighting is a great option for lighting environments because you can point it to whatever you want to be the focal point, and you can direct it where you want it. And these small LED track lighting heads are pretty inexpensive. If you have an existing track, you may be able to retrofit it with these smaller LED track heads. I like this type of lighting for assisted living and senior communities. It's a cove type lighting that's actually hidden behind a molding on the ceiling. The terminology is called veiled ambient lighting, which is very effective in lighting a space for seniors because there's no glow, there's no glare, and it's just a very soft glow, and it provides ambient lighting in the space. And then again, hallways, well-lit hallways with controls, like having ample control so that you can dim lights down as needed. And you want to be able to control that brightness of light. So this facility had ceiling lighting for general ambient light, but we also had wall brackets just to kind of balance it out a little bit and have a little bit of light on the walls. And then touch lamps. They used to be big a long time ago, very popular. And they've come kind of back into fashion because you basically touch the bottom of that lamp base and it goes on. So if someone has arthritic fingers, or they're not able to grip a small knob or a switch, they just touch the base of the lamp. And this one happens to be a 3-way lamp. So you can turn it on as bright or as low as you want. And then occupancy sensors, this little fixture here, this goes into an outlet, an electrical outlet, and it's got a little occupancy sensor on the front of it. And basically, this is great for nighttime bathroom visits because you don't have to turn the big bright light on and wake yourself up to use the restroom. You just have to get up and this will go on automatically and then turn off when you get back into bed without affecting your circadian rhythm. Lighting controls, again, very important to be able to have lighting controls and dimmer switches that will control the brightness and level of light that you need when you need it. And then some lighting guidelines. We want to provide adequate illumination for the task. Providing adequate illumination for the task, providing directionally appropriate lighting. So that means lighting if you're sewing or reading or knitting, you want to have light right on that task. Selecting lighting products based on published criteria like we spoke about, like the CRI and the color temperature of light, that warmer amber color for your home at night and maybe the cooler lights in an office, at a home office. Using natural daylight judiciously and making sure that you're cognizant of glare from the windows and from any light sources, and providing contrast. That's another important factor for senior environments because you want to have contrast between surfaces like countertops and flooring and cabinetry. That's better for the aging eye. And then just some recommendations for lighting: using consistent light levels throughout the home to prevent those adaptation issues, and increasing light levels in key areas of the home, like our kitchens and our bathrooms, to prevent falls. Using indirect or uplighting for soft, comfortable ambient illumination. That veiled ambient lighting is a great solution for lighting a space. Using light-colored matte finish walls with good LRV, which is light reflectance value. You can get that number from the paint color that you choose if you're doing a renovation. And high contrasting colors on floors, steps, railings, and other surfaces. Implement appropriate task lighting to avoid eye strain and fatigue. Incorporate dimmers. Definitely good to have dimmers in a space, especially at night as you're winding down. You want to turn those bright lights down. And user-friendly lighting controls. Sometimes there's all these technical control your lighting with your iPhone. I think we just want simple dimmers and switches on the wall. Be aware of that color temperature and color rendering for comfort, accuracy, and better sleep and wake cycles. Control sources of glare to prevent discomfort and unwanted reflectances. Get daily exposure from natural daylight for optimal health and well-being. That's really important, to just get out in the real daylight, in the real sunlight, and dim down the lighting at night for better night's sleep. Now, I'm not an eye doctor, so I would not want to recommend that people with any kind of vision disease take any of these considerations before you see your doctor. Make sure your ophthalmologist and optometrist giving you information on what type of lighting. I mean, flickering light can cause a lot of issues with people that have seizures, and individuals who have the diabetic retinopathy may experience abnormally high sensitivity to glare. So these are just some of the things that we take into consideration when we're dealing with lighting specification. And then, thank you. These are some of the resources and references that I've used for this presentation. And now I'd like to just be able to open it up to questions if people want to have any specific questions answered.
Yeah, so Margie, here's the thing. I have a couple of questions which was asked by the seniors in our community. So I want to first ask it. I know it must be a little repetitive. I know you told them, but I just wanted to, if at all, whenever they listen to the recording, I just want them to hear that question. So one of the senior asked is, what are some sustainable design choices that only benefit the environment, that not only benefit the environment, but also improve the senior health and comfort?
Yes, so definitely talking about sustainable lighting, which is also a part of my my knowledge and education of people, is that there's a whole plethora of lighting fixtures that are healthier, not only for human eyes, but for the environment. So we're getting away from fluorescent lighting. Fluorescent lighting can have some negative effects. It flickers. Some of the older ones are just terrible to be around. They flicker and they're a bad color. And fluorescent lamps also contain a very small amount of mercury. So they are considered hazardous waste and they have to be disposed of properly at the end of their useful life. So yeah, there are certain considerations for materials and fixtures that maybe are rated by a system called declare rated lighting fixtures that have none of the toxic metals like cadmium and lead and things of that nature. I think that's what we're asking at this point, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. And actually, also, there was one question which I always had is that some of the seniors are only looking with respect to the natural lighting. So, how can elderly people take advantage of natural lighting, just natural lighting, to improve their indoor environment and well-being? If you just look at the houses.
Yeah, definitely. So I like to wake up to the east rising sun. And fortunately, the bedroom in my condominium faces east. So I get that nice sunny light in my window every morning. Well, when it's sunny, that is, not today. But I think having our bedrooms and maybe even our kitchens on the east side of the home is really beneficial. Having rooms that provide a lot of daylight, but be cognizant of like any glare that might cause headaches and eye disturbances, but definitely as much natural daylight as you can afford to have in your home, just making sure that you're controlling the glare.
That's true. Yeah. Also, is there any specific, or you did mention about certain bulbs, right, when you're giving the presentation? But I'm pretty sure this is a repetitive question, but do you think there are any specific color temperatures that work best for aging eyes?
Right. So I was showing this innovative LA innovative light fixture, and it's actually color tunable, so you can see without blinding you all. This is more of on the blue, and then if you change it and it turns more amber and back to blue. So the color temperature is measured in Kelvin, Kelvin. And it doesn't have to be that technical. When you go and purchase lighting fixtures from say, Home Depot or Lowe's, you can look at the criteria on the box. And for warmer color temperatures, I recommend nothing higher than 3000 Kelvin, or it will say 3000 K.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good color. It's like a white, kind of like a halogen type light source is 3000. 2700 is more amber, kind of an orangey type of light or a yellow type light that is better for winding down in the evening. So look for that color temperature. If you see a light fixture or a light bulb that says 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin, it's going to be very blue and very too bright, too gray blue for your environment. Be pleasant.
That's the 4,000, right? 4,000
Yeah,
ohm.
that would be very high. I say 20 between 2,700 and 3,000 K for lighting in the home.
Okay, sure. And Marshall, what do you think are the common home design mistakes that most of us make, whether seniors or pre-seniors, and that can make aging at home more difficult?
I think again, purchasing lighting that maybe inexpensive like lamps, bulbs that have that wrong color temperature, or the CRI is not like the CRI as we talked about is the color rendering index. So things like if you put a nice um, light in your closet with a good quality and good color rendering, if you put like a poor light in, a poorly qualified light in there, it might not show the blue from the black. They may all look the same. So differentiating CRI and color temperature are pretty key when you're picking out lighting for your home.
Yeah. And also, I think you did mention I know one of the question was about sustainable thing, which was like one of the questions from one elders, but some of the elders from the assisted living, they asked that, which for me, I went through it, but if you want to repeat again, is that what are some sustainable design choices, which you mentioned, but that are not only benefit the environment, but overall it'll improve, right? So, which you mentioned again, I know it was a repetition because so many, again, they're asking the same question, the
Yeah,
sustainable
yeah.
choices.
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot to be said about sustainable lighting as opposed to just lighting that has the right color temperature and right CRI. I mean, what are we doing with these lights when they don't work anymore? Where are they going into a landfill? Do the light fixtures contain lead, PVC? Like even wiring is being swapped out for a non-PVC type of wiring for homes now. But sustainable lighting means lighting that is going to not only be healthier for humans, but also for the environment. So the disposal of them, where they're being sourced, what heavy metals may be incorporated into the manufacture of them. And again, fluorescent lighting containing mercury, those are being phased out. We are probably not going to be able to purchase fluorescent bulbs in years to come because they're phasing them out and switching all over to LED, which is far more sustainable. There's no toxic chemicals. There's no mercury to worry about disposal of, and LEDs can last up to 50,000, 100,000 hours. So we're talking like 20 years for a light fixture that's LED to last.
Yeah. So, if a senior is just starting to think about, say, making their home more accessible, what, according to you, are the top three areas they should focus on first?
Definitely. So having a lighting assessment, like someone to walk through your home and just see where there's key areas that need better lighting is one way to start. Um, I would say entranceways, like steps, anywhere there's steps, you want to have good lighting at the top and bottom of those stairs, and even along the stairs. Sometimes there's stair lights that you can get that are not going to cause glare, but they might be very hidden or in a cove lighting along the side of the stairway, or even under the tread of the stair. Sometimes they have little very dim lights, just enough to give you a contrast of the steps from one to the other. Stairs are tough because as you get older, if you have, say, carpeted stairs or wooden stairs, even when you're at the top of the stairs and you look down, they all look like they all blend into each other as our eyes age. I mean, it's happened to me. I've been at the top of the stairs, and unless I put that good hall light on, they all kind of blend together. So it's a really a trip hazard, a fall risk. So definitely tops and bottoms and along stairs, stair railings, and outside as we're going out the door. We want to have good lighting on the stairs going inside and out of our home. And those can be on either a motion sensor, or they can be on a dawn to dusk. So if you go out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you come back and it's dark, your light is on because it's got a photo sensor that goes on automatically when the sun goes down. So those are great things to have, a photo sensor on your exterior light. Other areas, kitchen, under cabinet lighting, where we're chopping and using knives on the counter, and you're in your own light if you're depending on that overhead fixture. So light, and as simple as these LA Innovative little bars that can be attached with 3M tape under the cabinet. These are so lightweight, you can put these right underneath your cabinet and you'll have light right on the counter for chopping and cutting. And then bathroom lighting, of course, a light in the shower, general ambient lighting, and then light beside the mirror, about no more than 5 feet apart on the side of the mirror at about eye level, will kind of illuminate your face, especially for men that are trying to shave in the bathroom. You don't want just a recessed light above your head. It's going to cause shadow. So you want light coming in from the side on your face. So those 3 areas: stairs, exterior stairs, kitchen countertops, and bathroom.
Perfect. There was a one final question, Margie, from one of our seniors, is that how can they find the professionals? Because I know they go to Home Depot, Lowe's, that's different. But the question for some of them are there how to find reliable professionals to help them with the more home modifications, and of
Yeah.
course lighting improvements.
So I myself, as a licensed designer and lighting specialist, will do a home lighting assessment. I have a certified aging in place specialist designation and many, many years of lighting experience for someone to just advise them on what areas of the home need lighting, and then finding like a qualified lighting supplier. It can be not just Home Depot or Lowe's or the box stores, but you could go into, say, a Granite City Electric, or we have here in Taunton, Mass, we have the Lighting Gallery. So professionals in those stores are a little bit more knowledgeable about lighting products and levels of illumination that we need. Just buying something on Amazon is not always
Oh,
a
yes.
good solution. But having someone do like a lighting assessment first, just to see, and you might already know, you might be able to say, geez, I have a hard time navigating the back stairs. And it might be just a matter of installing a light fixture in the hallway at the top and the bottom. So yeah, definitely a lighting assessment would be of value. And then relying on some of the bigger lighting suppliers that carry these types of fixtures, like under cabinet lighting and like Granite City Electric. There's a few of them around, but look for if you don't find any help in the home stores, look for some of the specialty lighting stores.
That's very helpful. Anyone from the who is joined today in the call and want to ask Margie any questions?
Oh, someone put something in the chat. It says, do you recommend lighting color
Lighting.
change based on time of day? Yes. I mean, it can get very expensive to get these lighting controls, like with settings of scenes. I mean, it can get also complicated. So I do recommend color tunable lighting, but sometimes you don't need to get into a lot of expense when it comes to lighting, as long as you're picking the color of lighting fixtures with the appropriate application. So like I have installed under cabinet lighting in kitchens, not a real expensive technology, but just you can switch it from 2 different color temperatures. You can do the 3000K or the 2700K. but some of the higher priced fixtures, mostly for commercial lighting, and they're marketing a lot of color tunable lighting, which you don't always need to spend the money for.
And there's
Um,
another question, Margie, there.
yeah, can you please indicate the name of the under cabinet lighting? Oh, okay, so this is, it's LA, like Linda Apple lighting, I'm sorry, LA Innovate. I'm sorry, I always forget the
I
name
can
of,
just type that. It's called LA Innovate, right?
yeah, LA Innovative.
Innovative. Okay.
.com. And you can order those directly. Like I said, there's so many different options. There's these small little bars. I mean, these are like probably $15. This one is a little bit nicer because it's color tunable. And this is the one that's very low profile, but it has two different color temperatures. And again, this little thing here is an occupancy sensor. So if you have a dark closet and you put this in your closet and you turn it on to the blinking, that blinking means that it's now an occupancy sensor. And so you open your closet door and you have light that goes on and then it goes off when you're done. And it's USB chargeable and you don't need an electrician to put them in.
Right.
And then Kichler, I know I've worked with Kichler under cabinet lighting. That's a hardwired lighting product, but you would need an electrician to hardwire those and put them on a switch, which is much more
How do you
convenient.
spell that, Margie?
Kichler is Kichler.
Kitchler, right? So it's like just
Yeah,
with the
Kichler, Kichler lighting.
it's a Kitchler lightings, right? So they can look for that if they go to Home Depot, right?
Yep, I believe they do carry the Kichler there. Just make sure that you're asking for those correct color temperatures. And some of the other lighting design facilities will have more of a knowledge of those color temperatures than maybe someone at Home Depot or Lowe's. Oh, how does interior design influence safety and
Right.
accessibility for seniors? Oh, absolutely. I have another workshop that I do called Independent Lifestyle Design because I like it better than aging in place. It sounds a little bit better than aging in place. And I talk all about, I'm actually doing it at the Mansfield Council on Aging on March 20th in Mansfield. And basically I go room by room because interior design has a tremendous influence on safety and things need to be more accessible and less clutter. You need less clutter and less belongings in your environment. So you have to really look at safety and materials that are like flooring that's less slippery. So you have to look at slip resistance, sizing of furniture, depth of seating, height of seating. There's a lot of factors that go into interior design as well.
Margie, one more question.
Sure.
Are there any recommended room colors as we age?
I think neutral colors are probably best. I mean, you can go with brighter colors, but the darker the color you have, the more light you will need because that dark color absorbs the light. So I think soft neutrals. I mean, I love yellow in a room. I think it's very cheerful and keeps us uplifted. Um, gray has been around for a while, but I think they're kind of like getting away from the gray. But, any of the paint websites like the Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams websites will give you some great ideas for colors for senior environments. But I say soft neutrals and pale, like sage greens, yellow, I think is very inspiring and uplifting.
So it's
Make sure,
basically yellow, sage green.
yeah, soft, cool. Like blue is calming. Blue can be very calming. The whole psychology of color that also enters in on interior design.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there any other question? I'm glad that people are texting also, if they're having questions. Um, and we're going to have again on the wellness fair, and there's so many things because in assisted livings too, if you have noticed too, at the care one, the lightings was so perfect, right, Margie, when we saw there. Uh,
Yes.
I think that similarly I saw when I went to the Golden Pond in Hopkinton, even there, the lighting was very perfect to the seniors who lived there. That's very
Mhm.
much needed for them. Um,
Right. And that layers of light, different lighting fixtures in the room, like a lamp on a desk and general ambient lighting as well, not just one central light fixture is pretty
this is
important.
one last question someone has sent.
Sure.
What role does smart home technology play in supporting aging in place?
Um, the smart home technology there's two sides to it. It can be kind of complicated for aging seniors because it can be very technical. And as I mentioned before, a lot of times lighting is controlled by an iPhone or an app. And most people do not want to, myself included, I don't want to deal with a lighting app on my phone to control the lighting in my home. So I want simple fixtures with a toggle switch that's not something I have to grip, um, like a paddle fixture. And then I want dimming control that is efficient dimming, but it's easy to just do it on the wall control. But there's also so many things that are beneficial in smart home technology, such as the Ring doorbell to see who's at your front door before opening it. Sensors, occupancy sensors. They even have indoor air quality monitors now. So if there's carbon monoxide coming into your home, or there's no longer a threat because there's a monitor to let you know. I mean, we have carbon monoxide detectors, which are so important, and smoke detectors. But these are actually indoor air quality monitoring systems that tell if there's too high of a level of formaldehyde or pollutants in some way. So I can see both sides of it. As long as it's user friendly, I'm all for smart home technology.
I would say it was a very insightful discussion, Margie, today. A huge thanks to you for sharing your expertise on how lighting can enhance vision of seniors. And I think it's not just seniors, I've seen a lot among the pre-seniors too, coming to safety and overall comfort. For me, at least throughout this session, I felt like I learned how aging affects vision, importance of choosing the right lighting, the different practical ways to improve our home environment for better accessibility. Margie here, I'm glad that you also introduced us to the smart lighting solutions, which is important. And again, thanks to the people, some of the seniors who asked these questions, because smart lighting solutions can definitely make life easier and very safer too. I think it's a time to take action for everyone, whether it is just adjusting, lighting in key areas of your home, considering smart light solutions, or simply being more mindful of how light affects your daily comfort. It makes all the small changes can have a big impact. So if you or anyone who watched today found the session very valuable, please share your feedback, and we would love to hear from you. And also, we have more such webinars. If Margie gets a good number of questions, we're going to request Margie to come for another webinar where we can share more such resources. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. And again, special thanks to Margie. Is there any final thing that you would like to say, Margie, to all our viewers?
I talked a lot about the senior population today and the aging eye, but I want to stress that this is all about universal design. And this is designing environments so that for all users at whatever age, because we can all be impacted, not because of our age, but sometimes a disability or an accident. All of a sudden, we are in a wheelchair and we need to get around our home. So I'm all in favor of universal design concepts with making doorways wider, making spaces better lit, and for all those safety measures to be put in place now before we age. And if anyone would like a lighting assessment done, I'm open to doing a walkthrough to see what particular areas that you might have problems with. So you'll have my contact information from Pratama. And yeah, I think just stressing how important it is to design universally.
Thank you. Thank you, Margie. And again, I request all the viewers to visit our website, www.volunteeringforseniors.org, and subscribe to our VFS channel where we bring such wonderful updated upcoming workshops and which is full of resources. Today's part of today's video.